ഒരു 8ാം ക്ലാസ് വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you can definitely understand the theory.
ഫ്യൂച്ചറിൽ AI ട്രേഡിങ്ങിനെ റീപ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യുമെന്ന് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ?
The failures, honestly. I came here to do chemical engineering.
Have an extraordinary return, you need to have a extraordinary risk.
Yes, that's my dishwashing days, because that's where it started. പാത്രം കഴുകുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് it's not that difficult. It's not complicated. It's just
ഒരു racism incident അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ടോ?
very poor beginning. Inferiority that you feel as an immigrant.
ട്രേഡിങ്ങിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങാനുള്ളൊരു മോട്ടിവേഷൻ.
I was a slave to the system for the longest time.
Have you seen losses more or the wins?
What's going on here? You're risking your job to just keep checking your phone. I mean, like,
ഒരു വിജയം ഉറപ്പാണെന്ന് തോന്നിയ ഒരു മൂമെന്റ് എന്തായിരുന്നു? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ
ഒരു വാശിയായിരുന്നു initially.
ഗിവ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് തോന്നിയില്ലേ?
Give up ചെയ്യണമായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ I should have stopped washing dishes. What other choice do you have?
ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഫണ്ട് നമുക്ക് വേണമല്ലോ.
അതെ, 14 hours every day, 3 months straight, no off. Catalyst to your biggest downfall. Feel like you're the top of the world. ഇന്ന് കുറച്ച് പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കാം, maybe നാളെ. You have to take trading as a job. ജോബിനെ റിപ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്നുള്ള ഒരുപാട് മിസ്കൺസെപ്ഷൻ. I have utmost respect to people who work 9 to 5. As a region manager, I have an eagle eye to everybody's wins and losses. You have to be willing to believe in something beyond yourself. A good trader becomes a good person.
Hello, namaskaram. Welcome to another session of 70mm Talks. Today I'm really happy to introduce someone to you guys. His name is Benson. Falls from Ernakulam, Kolanjeri-karanana. And he happens to be the regional manager of PU Prime, which is one of the top internationally regulated brokers. Benson, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming in. It's a pleasure to have you. Let's go into a simple question.
Sure.
What is Forex trading?
Well, Forex basically stands for foreign exchange. It's you're trading currencies instead of stocks. So we have two pairs, usually two currencies from two different countries. അത് ചിലപ്പോൾ യൂറോ ആയിരിക്കാം, ചിലപ്പോൾ USD ആയിരിക്കാം. അതിൻ്റെ based on market demand, it's relative to each other. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു കറൻസി വേറൊരു കറൻസിനെ അപേക്ഷിച്ച്, if it's going up or going down, you try to predict that and you try to trade in that direction. That's basically foreign exchange trading.
So I saw one of your posts in Instagram where you have written, the caption goes like this: most people see the success, the car, the lifestyle, but they never saw the ashes that I rose from. So that's actually a very powerful statement, right?
Thank you.
So
yes.
I think you migrated to Canada in 2012,
yes,
if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And so would you be able to let me know what the kind of journey was for you? I know that you have started like any migrant or immigrant who has come to Canada, that hard way of life. So how has it been?
Miserable. Really. Just like anybody else, mind full of dreams and parents full of heart. They have a dream for you and they send you here wanting you to achieve certain things. I wasn't that studious. I was okay. I was good, but nothing crazy. I came here to do chemical engineering, and I came here on a presidential scholarship, believe it or not. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But couldn't afford. I went to University of Waterloo. Stayed there for about 8 months or so. Couldn't afford to continue with it because this whole idea that you can come here, you can work part-time and you can just pay all your bills and live that perfect immigrant life. I was sold on it real hard. Far from the truth. So I learned that the hard way. So decided to move to Seneca and complete my diploma there. Did some part-times here and there when I was in Waterloo. And one thing I really understood is education wasn't enough. One thing I really understood is network is everything. When we are applying for co-op, you always need to give references and things like that. And I'm looking around and who do I know? Nobody.
But that's normally when anyone who comes to Canada, we all talk about networking, and then we go to our LinkedIn profiles and make them proper. But I'm sure that at those times LinkedIn was also not like too popular.
Yeah, not
right?
really. Funny thing is, I haven't touched LinkedIn.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't touched LinkedIn. I am someone who really believes in personal relationships and connections. I think there is a space and niche for people who need to get their LinkedIn done right. But when you're an immigrant kid, trying to ration your money for the next week, LinkedIn is not your priority.
Yeah.
So,
നമുക്കെല്ലാം അത് അറിയാവുന്നൊരു
അതെ.
കാര്യമായിരിക്കും. So what was that thing that changed you from a chemical engineer to someone who was interested in Forex? You were talking about networking.
Yeah, it's I guess it's really the failures, honestly. You're going through the usual immigrant life, doing all these cash jobs. I'm not sure that's supposed to be out there, but but I think everybody can relate to that. Dishwashing and gas stations and kitchen helpers and all that kind of stuff. There's a sense of inferiority that you feel as an immigrant.
Yeah.
You feel like you have no ground to stand.
എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും ഒരു റേസിസം ഇൻസിഡന്റ് അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ടോ?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Especially 2012s.
Right.
I came here right after 12th grade, not even a degree or did not even go to college. I didn't have a bit more of a hectic experience of a college life. I've never got to enjoy a college life.
So why did you think of Canada after 12th? I mean, that's a big risk, right?
My parents, we had a very, very poor beginning.
Okay.
My dad took the risk of going abroad, Middle East. Me, my mom, and my grandparents having to have that life when I started growing up, it was very difficult. So I would risk father eduthadukonde, things started getting better. It took about maybe a decade to start going from that lower end to a middle class where we can afford good education and things like that. So, I think I owe it to my dad, everything.
Right.
Of course, my mom too.
Right.
But I would do risk factor. My dad understood that you need to take some kind of extraordinary risk to have some kind of extraordinary return.
Right.
I would do ideology ulladhukonde right after 12th grade. He had an idea. Yes, it's getting very crowded here.
Right. That's actually a wonderful statement, right? Like to have an extraordinary return, you need to have a extraordinary risk.
Yes.
That applies to your trading too.
Of course.
അതും എപ്പോഴും ഡെയിലി ആപ്ലിക്കബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യമായിരിക്കും.
I think it's also applicable to your mentality on how you move about things.
ഇവിടുത്തെ ആ ഒരു റേസിസം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ വന്ന സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ആയിരുന്നോ ഈ ട്രേഡിങ്ങിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങാനുള്ളൊരു മോട്ടിവേഷൻ?
Definitely situation is what guides you into the fields and things that you move into. Just like people who may have lost a family member have a higher chance of getting into the field of nursing or being a doctor. People who have suffered issues with legal things where they felt powerless must have gone into the law school. It's like certain things happen in your life make you feel like you have to overcome it rather than be a slave to it.
Right.
It took me some time to realize that. I was a slave to the system for the longest time. I felt like I had to just live by other people's standards and expectations for the longest time. Initially, you will feel bad on the way that people behave to you because you're an immigrant. I'm not saying always. Very isolated incidents. Almost everybody is nice by default. But it's just these isolated incidents that make you feel like, how long am I going to sit there and just be a victim to people's opinions rather than make your own choice to not be affected by it? It's an inherent decision to whether be affected by somebody's words or not. മറ്റുള്ളൊരാള് നമ്മളെക്കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ how that reaction happens in you is entirely up to your control. If you can master that very minute aspect of complete and total accountability to everything that happens in and around you, everything starts shifting.
Wow. That's some sort of advice that I needed in my life too. So what was your Benson മുന്നേ സംസാരിച്ചപ്പോൾ എന്നോട് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു like it took almost 2 years for you to go from loss to earn a profit, your first profit, right?
Right.
So what was it, how was the journey like?
I guess I will start from my dishwashing days because that's where it started. At some point you start washing dishes and you think that's the simplest job you could do, right? Take some plates and wash it.
I'm also a dishwasher on the first time.
Right? It's not that deep of a job. at least you think that way. See, പാത്രം കഴുകുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് it's not that difficult. It's not complicated. It's just a simple thing. But endukondo there are people who does it better than me. I don't know why. There are people who come with a different shift and he does it faster, he does it better.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, even in something as simple as washing dishes, there's a way to do that better.
Mm-hmm.
That little thing of efficiency that I lacked kind of pissed me off. Like, I can't even wash dishes that good. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? Now that got me into thinking, whatever I do, I have to do it intentionally and try to be very good at it. Right. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. Even in the most basic of fields. Not that it's easy. There could be somebody who outworks you and you may lose that opportunity. Our ideal I started doing things more intentionally. So I started, coming up the ladders within the field, getting into the kitchen and starting understanding how to cook. Those skill sets that I started stacking and building. Eventually, we hired a coworker, and it's a very funny thing. And, there's a rule of thumb that you're not on your phone when you're working, right? It's a rule of thumb. We always kept checking at his phone, and I'm like, what's going on here? You're risking your job to just keep checking your phone. I mean, like, if you're in a relationship, bro, just let me know. I can understand. But, he said, the trading on it. I'm just looking at my charts every once in a while. And I promise I won't stay too long on it. And he's getting very happy sometimes, and then he's down the next day. I'm like, what's going on? That's what got me interested into the idea of trading. Something very unexpected. It just came over my table. And he was like, if you're interested, I can get you in touch with the company that I'm learning from. And that's where things started. I started getting into different platforms who give trading as an education. പലതരത്തിലുള്ള education, membership based ആയിട്ടുണ്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ course ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. It really depends. And it was very exciting at first, just like anybody who gets into trading. They think that it's very easy. It's just you study and you apply. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് a lot of people, when they get into failures, they lose that motivation to continue. Mm-hmm. So the quote, coming back to that initial question you asked, the rose from the ashes is basically rising from failures is one of the most difficult things. Yeah. It really speaks to the mental fortitude, and not many people have lost enough to have the mentality to win enough.
ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു ഇതിൽ തന്നെ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് തുടരാനുള്ള, അതായത് ഈ ഒരു രീതിയായിട്ട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു വിജയം ഉറപ്പാണെന്ന് തോന്നിയൊരു മൂമെൻറ്റ് എന്തായിരുന്നു? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്ന ഒരു ട്രേഡ് നടത്തിയപ്പം അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്പെസിഫിക് ഇൻസിഡൻറ്റ് ഉണ്ടോ?
Not really, because everything starts from ഒരു വാശിയായിരുന്നു initially. It was not for a moment of winning. It was not for that prize. It was just, ആ ഒരു വാശിയായിരുന്നു. I just needed to find a way to beat it.
ആദ്യത്തെ പരാജയം ഇപ്പം ആദ്യം 2 വർഷം എടുത്തെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ ഇത്രയൊരു ടൈമിനിടയ്ക്ക് ഇത് ഗിവ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് തോന്നിയില്ലേ?
അങ്ങനെ ഗിവ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യണമായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ I should have stopped washing dishes. അല്ലേ? See, it's what other choice do you have? It was never an option. See, നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്താലും people look at, okay, let me see how it works out. എന്നുള്ള ചിന്തയോടെ തുടങ്ങിക്കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ whoever starts that mostly end up failing it.
അപ്പോൾ ആദ്യത്തെ ഈ ലോസ് കണ്ടിന്യൂ അപ്പം ആ ലോസ് എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു നമ്മളതിൽ നിന്ന് ഓവർകം ചെയ്തേ? ഫണ്ട് നമുക്ക് പിന്നെയും ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഫണ്ട് നമുക്ക് വേണമല്ലോ.
അതെ.
അത് നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ കണ്ടെത്തും?
Work overtime. Okay. I was doing 14 hours. I still have my punch card. 13.8 to 14 hours every day, 3 months straight. No off. October, November, December. New Year's, I got a half day. That's it. And that half day was morning, not night.
I feel like I'm watching that movie of Will Smith, Pursuit of Happyness. I think you have also seen that, right? So,
yeah, yes.
So when you earned your first profit, did you punch the air like him, or like that should have been a special moment?
Of course. You're working in a kitchen and you see that first $120, and you've made your day's worth of income in that one trade, and you feel like you're at the top of the world. You feel like you've accomplished something massive.
Right.
But that's also the biggest downfall.
Yeah.
Being too happy about winnings can be, the catalyst to your biggest downfall, in my opinion. Now, it did happen.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why losses happen.
When I think of trading, like, we always think of people who want to get overnight rich.
Yeah.
Right. So what exactly happens? Like, if I am giving you maybe a $10,000 today,
Yeah.
That's what like a lot of people whom I know that speak about that. Okay, let's try putting it over there, and maybe tomorrow you'll get a better return.
Yes.
So what would you tell those kind of people who are looking to have overnight success?
I would say it's impossible.
Yeah.
It is not even a question of whether you can or not. It's impossible. I would say you could have momentary successes. In the gorchu, paisa undakka, maybe naale. But it will not last. You have to take trading as a job. ജോബിനെ റിപ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്നുള്ള ഒരുപാട് മിസ്കൺസെപ്ഷൻസ് ഒരുപാട് ആൾക്കാർ സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയയിൽ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. Why do 9 to 5 when you can trade? Almost like dishonoring the 9 to 5. I have utmost respect to people who work 9 to 5. It shows that you have a discipline and diligence to wake up on time, go work, and come back, and still take care of your family. And people talk about trading something that easy, that you can just sort of disregard the 9 to 5 and completely turn into a trader. It will never happen, that 9 to 5. I mean, think about the life of a teacher or a doctor. The years of discipline that it took to learn how to go about these, different aspects of medicine and understanding how it works, learning from losses or failures and experiences. Not every surgery is a success. Right. Not every test is a pass. Not everything that you build, whether it's construction, whether it's whatever skill or trade that you take, if you can take trading and consider it as a job and with the same seriousness, I would say you have 10% of success.
I think you've been like into trading for almost 9 years now. That's
I would say about 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you rate your journey? Like, what do you think you have achieved, and what do you think you have not?
I think it's okay. I don't think I did it the most efficient way. I'm not very intellectually gifted. I'm very bad at multitasking. A lot of skills I've learned to adapt and really focus on making it better. I would say to understand the theory of trading, it will probably take an 8th grader. But at 10th class vidyabhyasam undengil, you can definitely understand the theory behind trading.
Okay.
It's the application side that really defines success or failure. അതെങ്ങനെ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. The application side speaks to your mind, discipline, emotional IQ, self-control. The ability to wake up and do something without having somebody to tell you to do it. My dad was in the Navy for some time, and I had no lacking of having the fear to wake up and do something without somebody having to tell me that.
So were you one of those disciplined guys who used to wake up in the morning at 4 or 5 and all?
He was very precise about things.
Right.
And you had to follow.
You need to have some sort of a discipline in life, right? I mean, it's pretty much needed in life, I guess.
I would say discipline overshadows motivation any day. Motivation is temporary. Motivation is sort of acquired from an external source. I would do podcast, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ I would do speech, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ could be anything. It speaks to you. അതുകൊണ്ടുണ്ടായ ഒരു motivation, അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാനിത് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളൊരു സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ നിന്ന് മാറി I got motivated by it, but that's enough. I don't need anybody to motivate me anything further.
Right.
That has turned into a form of discipline inside me.
Right.
So now I wake up for me, I do it for me. The losses are for me, the success are for me.
Right.
Nobody has anything to do.
Right. As a regional manager of PU Prime,
Yeah.
how do you impart that to your brokers or like traders?
You have to create a system, culture. You have to sort of box things.
Okay.
You have to create operational principles. these are the ways that you have to do things, and outside of that is not going to work. And if you do it inside of that framework, then you have a very high chance of success. You have a very high chance of not leaning towards failures. As a region manager, I have an eagle eye to everybody's wins and losses. It's a blessing and a curse. You can see all the wins, but at the same time, you can see the losses of people.
Have you seen losses more or the wins?
Definitely more losses. In any industry where people make extraordinary income, insane income, in that industry, losses will be way more than wins. Because that's why the win percentage, the people that makes multiple seven figures, are a very small minority.
Right.
How you are emotionally detached from this outcome of a trade?
Never a gift. It's something that you learn to become. Number one, I think, would be prayer. I'm very big on my belief, my faith. It's your ability to have faith in the things that you do that modulates and forges a character worthy of that kind of success. Either you have to be willing to believe in something beyond yourself. That means you can see further than your individuality. ഞാനെന്നൊരു വ്യക്തിയേക്കാൾ beyond that, there's something. And അതിനകത്തുള്ളൊരു,
control ചെയ്യുന്നൊരു super power.
Yes, it's a belief. If you have that, then you can apply that to business. Because business is never guaranteed. Right? That success is not guaranteed, the result is not guaranteed. So you have to see a future in your business purely out of your grit and your belief. And the only other thing that I can equate to something like that is faith. But once you have that, then you train yourself to modulate how you react to losses. I think bro ചോദിച്ചതിൻ്റെ ഒരു കുറച്ചുകൂടി ആക്യുറേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു ഉത്തരം അതാണ്. You have to learn to modulate your emotions when you face losses. And that only, happens through habits. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു $100,000 ഒരു ലോസ് സംഭവിച്ചു എന്നിരിക്കുക. I think the first time it's going to make that person go through hell. It is the worst thing that had ever happened to that person. All the negative thoughts run through your mind. But then at some point you get used to it. Just like anything. But you have to hold on to that feeling and make it into a habit. Intentionally. ഇതൊന്നും ആക്സിഡൻറ്റ് കൊണ്ടുണ്ടാകുന്നതല്ല. And that's what I meant. Circling back to that initial point, it's not an overnight success. Everything is intentional, consistent fragments that you keep stacking to that point where you can call it a success.
So what is PU Prime?
PU Prime is a foreign exchange broker. For example, the easiest way to compare is Wealthsimple.
Okay.
Wealthsimple is a stock trading broker.
Yeah.
You make an account. Rather than going through your bank, you can make an account there. Not much fees. There's no fees to opening an account, trading an account. The only way they might make money is probably some spreads and withdrawal fees and things like that. There's no upfront cost or any expense.
Right.
Trading through the banks are more expensive, always.
Okay.
Similarly, we have foreign exchange. Foreign exchange have existed since the beginning of currency.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not probably in the form of a broker, but anytime you're exchanging, whether it's copper, gold, or silver, you're exchanging one good for the other. An exchange happens. There needs to be an entity that facilitates that exchange, and that's why I got into the forex space to begin with. Right. So PU Prime is one of the brokers, internationally regulated by multiple entities that deals with this exchange. They oversee this exchange. So when people want to, back in the days, people would call to Wall Street. Hey, it seems like something is happening with euro. I want to sell that currency.
Right.
And euro dumps. Something happens. And you make money. PU Prime is a broker that manages, regulates Forex trading and basically people's money and everything.
ഇതിലെ PU Prime's വെബ്സൈറ്റിൽ പറയുന്ന you deal with forex, metals, indices, bonds, etc. So you do for all these platforms,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
ഇതൊരു ഒരു umbrella-ആണ്.
Okay.
PU Prime എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ബ്രോക്കറിൽ കൂടി you can trade gold, you can trade silver, indices,
Right.
even stocks. You can actually trade in the form of currencies
Okay.
through PU Prime. So it houses a lot of things.
And what about the academy? Can you speak a bit about the academy as well?
Yeah. So brokers don't usually run their own academies. Technically, it's counterproductive
Right.
because it's a free market. They want to leave it to the natural flow of things.
Okay.
ഒരു 100 പേര് ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വരുന്നു. Whether they win or lose is entirely up to what they have done to educate themselves and their skill set. Initially, I started my academy with a cost. It's a subscription cost. I believe it was like $100 a month 3 years ago, with everything that I've learned to got me to, 6 figures in success. And at some point I realized there's not enough interest in people who is willing to pay $100 a month to learn a skill set like this, regardless of how much money I made. It's just because some people don't even have that to expend in a month. Or it could be lack of priorities. So when I saw a lot of people, especially international students, ഒരുപാട് ആഗ്രഹങ്ങളായിട്ട് ഇങ്ങോട്ടേക്ക് വരുന്നു. They do a lot of kind of jobs. But there does not exist a system that can teach them. It's not just about trading.
Right.
It's the financial awareness, wealth awareness. How money flows in the market is something that everybody needs to understand.
Right.
Your lack of understanding on the flow of liquidity. That's the word that we use in the trading. Liquidity.
Right.
If you don't understand the flow of liquidity, you don't understand how money moves in the market.
Yeah.
You're always a pawn to, just, having a third person's view.
So, ഇപ്പോൾ പറഞ്ഞില്ല, like I have another
Sure.
question to ask you. So, നമ്മൾ Indians, like most of us as coming from India, we are always, like used to having a savings rather than, being more keen on having investments, right? നമ്മുടെ ഒരു സേവിങ്സ് മെൻറ്റാലിറ്റി കൂടുതലാണ് എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Yeah.
So, how do you like educate the people or like the students coming from India that you have to invest to get that return rather than the money that is there in your bank?
Because investing yourself is not something that our community or culture teaches.
Right.
But നാട്ടിലാണെങ്കിൽ പോലും, whether you're in college, there exists no system that teaches you about taxing. എങ്ങനെ ടാക്സ് ചെയ്യണം, ഏത് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് കാർഡ് എടുക്കണം, എങ്ങനെ അത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം, ക്രെഡിറ്റ് കാർഡിൻ്റെ യൂട്ടിലിറ്റി റേഷ്യോസ് എങ്ങനെ മാനേജ് ചെയ്യണം, how can you build a great credit, how can you build leverage, and how to use money or how to leverage money to make more money.
Right.
That's the basis of real estate.
Right.
ഇതൊന്നും ആരും പഠിപ്പിച്ചു തരുന്നില്ല from any of our, it's an extremely outdated, pathetic education system.
That's also here too, right?
Not entirely. We have co-ops here. We give people the ability to go out and practice under supervision way early, 16 years old. We allow, our young kids, our education, this education here is not so saturated. It allows people enough time to go and do other jobs. In നാട്ടിലായിരുന്നപ്പോൾ I would have been way ahead of my curve. Tuition പോകുന്നതിന് പകരം, if I was to able to be sent into a trade or a factory where I could see and actually feel what I'm about to study or the field that I'm about to get into.
ഇപ്പോൾ ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലുള്ള ഇപ്പോൾ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഒരു സ്റ്റഡി കഴിഞ്ഞിറങ്ങി കഴിയുമ്പോഴാണ് ഒരു വർക്ക് ഫീൽഡ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് അവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നത്. അത് ഇവിടെ കുറച്ചും കൂടി നേരത്തെ കിട്ടുന്നു. പക്ഷേ നമ്മുടെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് അത് കുറച്ചുകൂടി നേരത്തെ കിട്ടേണ്ടതല്ലേ?
12th കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്ത് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ഒരു ഐഡിയ ഇല്ല.
ഇപ്പോഴും കോളേജ് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ പോലും ഭയങ്കര കൺഫ്യൂസിങ്
ഇല്ല. Why is somebody teaching English and Malayalam and other things in 12th grade and 11th grade? ഇതെല്ലാം പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞ സാധനങ്ങളല്ലേ, സ്വന്തമായി പഠിക്കാവുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളുമാണ്. So I think you should be focused on fintech in your high school. 11th, 12th, you should be focusing on chemistry, computer, or your choice of science and math. That's it. That's all you should be doing. And then you should have enough time to have applied knowledge on these things. English പഠിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണെങ്കിൽ, if they want to major in English, let them go have some co-op at some literature camps. If they're interested in math and physics, send them to one of the labs or factories where that kind of process is being done.
So what you're trying to say is that you need to have like real hands-on experience to understand
100%.
things.
Theory is nothing. Right. Theory gives you nothing. The only thing that theory does is take you years back in your future. The lack of, time put into applied knowledge is every day is taking. It's like your experience is going negative. Mm-hmm. Each day is wasted away from gaining experience in that field. Right. I think somebody who finishes 12th grade should have a good understanding about the direction in which he needs to go and should come out with applied knowledge. Computer science, they should understand what are the different fields of computer science, whether you want to go into cyber tech, whether you want to, work for different companies, whatever it is, you need to have a great idea. And I think that creates like an NPC-like people. Right. When they come into Canada. They sit there and they see people so hands-on.
Right.
And you're starting that race from way back and you need to catch up so fast.
Right.
That's a difficult life to, begin here. I think it's starting to be better. But, when I see all those things, I feel like I need to do something to teach people at least what I can, what gave me success. It's the same as somebody in real estate teaching young kids how to start saving towards a home. I know, some people are doing these seminars. And even when I was talking to our friend, Samson Anthony, he was saying he has, intention on having more young kids understanding how to, leverage the real estate market and plan ahead. Yeah. You don't just end up one day and say, I want to buy a house, and you go to the bank and you realize, you're 3 years late. You should have done X, Y, Z starting 3 years back. Right. Now you would have been ready. You don't make that decision today.
Right.
I wanted to do that with my academy. Teach people not just how to trade, help them understand what is happening in the market, how financial markets are involved in our day-to-day life. ഒരു ഉദാഹരണം പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. വർക്കിൽ നിന്ന് $1,000 പേച്ച് കിട്ടി. അത് ബാങ്കിൽ കൊണ്ടിടുന്നു. All you see is a number. Where does that money go? People think it goes into stock. It's not. Banks heavily invest into financial space. Basically, നമ്മൾ ആ ബാങ്കിലേക്ക് ഇടുന്ന ആ ഒരു amount, the bank takes that money, pools that funds, they put it into the foreign exchange market. എന്നിട്ട് അവരുടെ പ്രൊഫഷണലിനെ വെച്ച് അത് ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So they make way more money than we could have. ഇതുകൊണ്ടാണ് സേവിങ്സ് അക്കൗണ്ടിലേക്ക് ഇടാൻ അവർ ഒരുപാട് പുഷ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഹൈ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് സേവിങ്സ് അക്കൗണ്ടിലേക്ക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ RRSP, TFSA ഇതിനകത്തേക്ക് ഇടാൻ ഒരുപാട് പുഷ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൻ്റെ കാരണം അതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. ബിക്കോസ് ദ ലോങ്കർ ദ ഫണ്ട് സ്റ്റേസ് ലോക്ക്ഡ് ഇൻ, ദ മോർ ദേ ക്യാൻ യൂസ് ദാറ്റ് മണി somewhere else. ഇതെല്ലാം നല്ലതല്ല എന്നല്ല, but that's the intention behind that money. And then they give you a measly 4% a year or something like that. So I just wanted to help people understand how this actually works, so people have more awareness. So എൻ്റെ അക്കാഡമി കൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഇതാണ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ.
Right.
Educate people and give them all the services and products.
Right. So what all services do you have? Like when you say that it's an academy.
Yes.
അതിൽ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു activities, or like how can I be a part of your academy's process?
Definitely. So ഇതൊരു ബ്രോക്കറിൻ്റെ സർവീസ് അല്ല, ഇത് എൻ്റെ പേഴ്സണൽ സർവീസ് ആണ്.
Oh, okay.
Yes. ബ്രോക്കറിൽ നിന്ന്, like I said, they want an equal competition. They want a fair ground. ഇത് ഞാൻ കുറച്ച് impartial ആയതിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ഒരു സംഭവമാണ്. So we see a lot of people, struggling.
Right.
And എനിക്കിതൊരു ഫ്രീ അക്കാഡമി ആയി ആൾക്കാരിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കണമെന്നൊരു ആഗ്രഹം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. So I always believe that education should not be a privilege.
Right. That's such a noble thought.
Right?
ഫ്യൂച്ചറിൽ ഞങ്ങളും കൂടെ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാം.
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും. So I wanted to make it like an open source. So ഞാൻ പഠിച്ച കാര്യങ്ങൾ plus the professionals that I have collaborated with, എല്ലാവരും കൂടി we decided to open a free academy. So we have a space, things that other people charge people to. ഇപ്പോൾ paid courses പകരം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സബ്സ്ക്രിപ്ഷൻ മോഡൽസിനൊക്കെ പകരം ഫ്രീ ആയിട്ട് വന്ന് പഠിക്കാം. വി ഹാവ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻസ്, പ്രൊഫഷണലായിട്ട് എല്ലാ ദിവസവും ലൈവായിട്ട് ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ അതിനകത്തുണ്ട്. സോ യു ക്യാൻ ഫോളോ ദം, അവരുടെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്, അവർ പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ, ദ വേ ദേ വ്യൂ തിങ്സ്. I believe that you can learn a lot from seeing somebody do something rather than just learning about it.
ഇതുപോലെ മോട്ടിവേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ട്രേഡർ ആരായിരുന്നു?
Personally, I don't really have anything to say about it.
ഒരു മെന്റർ ഇല്ല?
No. I think the only mentor I had would be in sales and personal development side rather than trading side. I've always believed that trading is a journey between you and God. That's what I believe. Because sometimes looking up to somebody can make you follow them too much, that you end up not looking at what you are good at.
Right.
Not everybody trades the same way. Not everybody sees the same way. Some people take more time to learn. Some people learn in a different way. It's one of those skill sets where you have to bring your character into the way you do things.
Right. How do you define a good trade? Only the outcome or any other thing?
No, outcome just defines the outcome. I think it's the character of the person that becomes with that outcome that defines a good trader. When I had my academy, or even now, we follow a very important code that says trading is a great skill to have, but most importantly, I'm paraphrasing here, most importantly, it's who you become in that process is more important. I think a good trader becomes a good person because it forces you to be humbled. Because if you're not humble, the market will humble you. You have to have humility.
Yeah.
Because you work hard and at some point you start getting into success. You cannot allow it to get to your head, because then you lose faith. Then it becomes about you. The moment it becomes about you, you lose the game. So some people think that I have achieved my dream. I don't think that. I think you die the moment you achieve your dream. You should never be achieving your dreams. You should that post should keep moving. You know, that line should keep moving.
മനസ്സിൽ കണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഡ്രീം എന്താ?
I think I want to have one of the biggest free trading education academy, a wealth academy in Canada, where I teach people about not just trading, their finances, just the whole wealth field, basically. We are also collaborating with a lot of fitness influencers, real estate agents, mortgage agents. We are collaborating with a lot of people trying to build one massive system where we can help people learn about all these things for free. I'm not saying these are specialized, but just to give them a great start to their career, so people have an idea what they want to choose. Right. If you have information and awareness, I think your choices become easy.
So now you're wearing a Rolex Datejust, if I'm not wrong.
It's a Sky Dweller.
Sky Dweller, okay.
Yes.
So what's your favorite watch brand, and then like what goes into your the psyche of watches? Like, what's your craze about watches?
I don't know if it's just me, but I think every man that dare to dream about achieving 8 figures, $100 million and more, time and speed is very important. That's what accelerates your life.
That's why you have a Ferrari as well.
Yes. So these are all paper clippings at some point.
Right.
And it's an extraordinary desire to run towards those things. For me, getting my first Rolex was a Wimbledon. That had everything to do with me telling myself that I have conquered a little part of time back to myself.
Oh, okay.
Because you work hard to get time back, honestly. That's what I believe. It's not just about the money game. Once you start getting into like 6 figures a month, it's not so much as more money. It's efficient money, but the more important thing is to get time back for yourself, to be able to travel. Like I always tell my students, money is not the root of evil. It's the exclusive love of money that is the problem. But if you use money to give people great experiences, I think it can buy a lot of things.
Right.
I would argue it can buy some happiness.
Right. And what was that first Rolex that you bought?
It's the first Rolex was Wimbledon. I think it was a Datejust.
Datejust.
I forgot what it was. I had it for about. It's an interesting story actually.
Uh-huh.
I was so crazy about wanting to get a Rolex. I think I bit more than I could chew. Three agram gudi poi, So I bought the first watch. Everything was going well, and then it was not.
Okay.
So I sold it.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I sold it. Not that I didn't have enough money to sustain it, but the fear. Right. I was not sure if I could keep wearing that on my wrist and still take the risk in business. So I sold it. And I said, that's the last time I'm going to achieve something and I'm going to go back on it.
Oh, okay.
So then, I wanted to get the Sky Dweller in rose gold. That was, for me, it's peak Rolex. For me, that was a grail piece.
Right.
And it took a lot of effort to get it. It's an almost $100,000 watch. It's very difficult to even source it. Mm-hmm. And I felt, the funny thing is, I was not happy when I got it. I was just at peace.
Okay.
I was just at peace. I did not, there was no exultation. There was no extreme joy. Right. It was weird. I just felt a sense of peace that it really felt like this was between me and myself. Mm-hmm. I didn't really care about external appreciation at that point. Same with when I got my Ferrari. You won't find a single picture with me in front of it, except for somebody else just took it while I'm driving. I still haven't had a photo shoot with it.
Right.
Somebody else took it and I'm posting it. I don't know. Just, I love it, but not more than what I do. Wow. These are just targets to achieve and keep moving forward.
Right.
Genuinely.
Right.
My dad used to say, that it's less important about what you need to achieve, but more about who you become when you achieve. Right. And that's something I really hold true to my heart. And I think the day that leaves, I feel like success will lose its value.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful.
എന്തായിരിക്കും people misunderstand ചെയ്യുന്ന something like most lifestyle of as a trader?
വളരെ എളുപ്പത്തിൽ ഇത് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് തോന്നുന്ന ഒരുപാട് ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്. സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയയിൽ ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒരു മിസ്കൺസെപ്ഷൻ ഒരുപാടുണ്ട്.
സത്യം, ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരുപാട് ഇൻഫ്ലുവൻസേഴ്സ് ഇതിനെപ്പറ്റി വീഡിയോസൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുമ്പം
യെസ്,
കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ഒരു
കാരണം അതിനകത്ത് എന്തോ ഒരു ഒത്തൻറ്റിസിറ്റി ഉണ്ടെന്ന് നമുക്കറിയില്ല. എല്ലാവരും ഒരു കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ സ്ക്രീൻ ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് കരുതി ട്രേഡ് ആവണമെന്നില്ല. ഓണസ്റ്റ്ലി യുവർ ലൈഫ് ആൻഡ് യുവർ ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റൈൽ ഷുഡ് സ്പീക്ക് ഫോർ ഇറ്റ് സെൽഫ്. Honestly, my idea of success is what kind of an experience the people around you that you love get.
ഫ്യൂച്ചറിൽ ഈ ഒരു ട്രേഡിങ് അല്ലെ ക്രിപ്റ്റോ ഇതിനെ ട്രേഡിങ്ങിനെ റീപ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യുമെന്ന് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഹ്യൂമൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു ട്രേഡിങ്ങിനേക്കാളും ബെറ്റർ ആയിട്ട്?
ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. ആളുകൾക്ക് ഒരുപാട് അറിയാത്ത കാര്യം, ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് എ ഫ്യൂച്ചർ തിങ്. ഇറ്റ് ഓൾറെഡി ഡിഡ്, ലൈക്ക് അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് 5 years ago. ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചു വരുന്ന സമയത്ത് തന്നെ ഓട്ടോമേറ്റഡ് അൽഗോരിതംസ് ഉണ്ട് ഫണ്ട്സ് ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് യൂസ് ടു ബി വെരി എക്സ്ക്ലൂസീവ് ടു ഹെഡ്ജ് ഫണ്ട്സ്, ഹൈ ലെവൽ ബാങ്കിങ്. JP Morgan owns about 12% of the entire foreign exchange market volume per day. സ്റ്റോക്ക് മാർക്കറ്റ് ഏകദേശം $200 billion ആണ് ഒരു ദിവസം ആവറേജ് പോകുന്നത്. Foreign exchange does 7 trillion. Wow. That's how big the difference is. So ഒരു ബാങ്കിൻ്റെ ട്രേഡിംഗ് ഫ്ലോറിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരാൾ, average trading position of JP Morgan's is anywhere between $25 to $50 million. അതൊരാളെ കൊണ്ട് പറ്റുമെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഈ പറ്റുക തന്നെ, the amount of mental stress and risk that an individual takes is beyond comprehension. That's too much for just one person to handle. So ഇവിടെയാണ് it's a combined algorithmic trading plus manual intervention coming. But mostly റീറ്റെയിൽ സൈഡിലേക്ക് കടന്നു വരുമ്പോൾ വി ഹാവ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് അൽഗോരിതമിക് സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർസ്, പ്രീസെറ്റ്സ് വെച്ച് പ്രീവിയസ് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ വെച്ച് കോഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഓട്ടോമേറ്റഡ് അൽഗോരിതംസ്. ഇപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഒരു അക്കാഡമിയിൽ വി ഓൾസോ ഗിവ് ദാറ്റ് ഔട്ട്. ഓട്ടോമേറ്റഡ് അൽഗോരിതംസ് ഉണ്ട് ദാറ്റ് ജനറേറ്റ്സ് എനിത്തിങ് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ 3 to 6% റിട്ടേൺസ് എ മന്ത്. ഇത് പബ്ലിക്കിലേക്ക് അധികം എത്തിയിട്ടില്ല എന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. ബട്ട് ദീസ് തിങ്സ് ഓൾറെഡി എക്സിസ്റ്റ്. ഐ വുഡൻറ്റ് സേ ദിസ് ഇസ് ട്രൂ AI, but it's being fed information every quarter, every 6 months, based on what's happening in the market. So if it's already happening now, it's only going to get worse in the future.
ഫ്യൂച്ചറിൽ ഇതിലും വലിയ സാധനങ്ങളായിരിക്കും.
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും, definitely. AI will definitely replace a lot of things. And I think you have to be at the top of your game. And you have to accept it. See, പല കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഇൻ്റർനെറ്റ് പോലെ തന്നെ, internet was cursed upon. Bitcoin was cursed upon. ഇതൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളൂ. സി ചില സ്കാമിൽ പോയി പെട്ട് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് they have resentment towards certain things. It could be a lot of things. But you have to embrace it. You cannot just fear that what you don't understand. You have to understand and embrace it and see how you can control it. And that goes into any field. എന്തോരം AI കാര്യങ്ങൾ റിയൽ എസ്റ്റേറ്റിൽ വരുന്നു, ഫിറ്റ്നസ് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിൽ വരുന്നു. You have to be at the top of your game and find a way to make use of it.
But the AI would still not replace a human. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say will be quote unquote replace, but it can replace the jobs. A lot of coding work that required,
I know.
Can be really easily.
Yeah.
I think GPT-5 can just spit out programs like it's nothing. I use that in my business day to day.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, I had to hire internationally from Philippines or India for a few coders for my website, or a few people who can do small things, some widgets and this and that. That was income going to a person. Unfortunately, it is a simple matter of a prompt in GPT right now. And I can have that done in seconds. Would have taken somebody minutes, making the code, checking the code, finding the errors. Developer's life is difficult.
Yeah.
But if you're a great developer, you always will have options. So I'm not saying it will quote unquote replace,
Right.
but it can replace a lot of things that people can do.
Okay, so I have some rapid fire questions for you.
I'm terrible at it.
Let's try.
Sure.
Okay. Gold, silver, or crypto?
Gold.
Okay. What's your go-to snack while analyzing charts?
Chocolate chips.
Travel to relax or to network?
Network all day.
Kerala street food or Toronto fine dining?
Okay, let's street food. Back to the roots all the time.
What's one street food that you binge on?
I think I like street omelets a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Some chili chutneys. Perfect.
First thing you splurged on with trading profits?
Condo.
Wow. Favorite song to pump you up before a big call?
Skyfall.
Skyfall. Okay.
Biggest trade you regret closing too early?
Gold. Always. Yeah, I mean, it's a rapid question, so I don't need to expand on it. I'd rather not expand on it. It's sad. Very sad.
What's one altcoin you love that no one talks about?
Altcoin?
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it. But
Any crypto is fine.
see, I'm not into crypto.
Okay. What's one crypto coin you love that no one talks about?
I prefer nobody talks about it because I lost a lot of money in crypto and I tried to stay away from it. So
What do you do? All Forex and crypto markets shut down for an year.
that means everything shuts down. I'll play tennis.
If trading was banned forever, what would your plan be?
Sales. That's the plan A.
What's your expansion and what's holding for future? I know that you are heavy into the academy and all. What else, about your family, about what do you want to see yourself maybe 5 or 10 years down the line?
I guess a short-term plan is to, which we haven't really talked about, is helping people show the sales side of foreign exchange and the broker side. There's a lot of opportunities for young people. I mean, consider this as a call out. If you have the capacity to learn and you are interested in sales and you can be consistent, there's a lot of opportunities on the financial side, on the brokerage side, where you can, come in without zero capital, get into sales and make money. And I'm not saying everybody will make money. It really depends on how good you are. But, I have a 23-year-old that joined my business 8 months ago. He's now doing about $120,000 a month. On sales side, and not just trading. And I want to expand and give that opportunity to more people. We can't give that out to too many, but I think if the right people, we have a lot of opportunities, and I think I want to expand that across Canada, especially, നമ്മുടെ Malu community. It's a lot of people who is hungry enough and have the motivation and discipline to do that. എനിക്ക് കുറച്ചുകൂടി ആൾക്കാരിലേക്ക് അത് എത്തിക്കണമെന്നുണ്ട്, so they can get into something like this. And honestly, the worst thing that can happen is you end up learning something. So I want to expand that, and obviously I want to get into investing into physical assets. That's something that you should do.
Right.
Anytime you get into passive income, at some point you have to find a way to translate that into physical assets. And that's why, I'm staying very close to Samson. He's the man to go to. And I want to collaborate with people in other industries as well.
Right.
Find a way to invest. Find a way to help them get a platform.
Right.
Honestly, turning a line of work and taking that to a level where it can generate money. I'm not talking about generating influence or views.
Right.
I'm talking about generating cash flow. That is something I can good at.
Right.
If you ask me what is my one best skill, it's systemizing things to generate cash flow.
Right.
I can take anything, systemize it, put my people on it, and it can start bringing in money.
Wonderful.
And you have to get to a point where you're confident about that. And it could be paperclip, and it could be whatever you want it to be.
Right.
We'll make it happen.
So, thank you so much, Benson. So
Nice.
it was actually a wonderful experience talking to you. I mean, like, lot of in terms of like talking to him, understanding about life, the way that you should see how how humble you should be at the end of the day, because like success and failure are both sides of the same coin, right? So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Likewise.
Benson's Ferrari നമുക്കൊരു റൈഡ് ഉടനെ തരുമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു.
Definitely.
And നമുക്കിനിയും we'll invite you again for one more round. Like a lot of information you
Yeah.
passed on a lot of information to us, and all the best for the academy as well.
Thank you.
I can see that a lot of people would like
ഞങ്ങളും ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Yes, definitely. I want to. I really want to join. So ഒരുപാട് പേരിലേക്ക് അത് എത്തട്ടെ എന്ന് പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുന്നു.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys as well. കാരണം ഒരുപാട് genuine ആയിട്ടുള്ള questions ചോദിച്ചാലും asking questions. I guess I'll end with this. The last word of my biography in my first website, I'd ended with the saying that it's not the answers that enlighten, but the question.
Wow.
So I'm so glad that you guys were very genuine with me. Thank you for giving me a platform, and our best wishes to your amazing podcast. God bless you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.